Hi, in this tutorial we're going to learn how to raise a requisition and raise an overhead requisition on rather place. Sorry, forgive me for that. Now in our previous tutorial we learned how to raise a petty cache. Now in this one it's virtually similar to the previous, but it has more fields than the petty cache. Now, this is the table where you have a list of all the overheads that has been raised, right? And as I mentioned the other time, this is the invoice, this is the invoice ID, and this is the, in this case, the requisition number. Right? They are all concatenated together, you know. Now, and then these are the various column heads, right? Okay, so to raise a new overhead equation is either you click this button or you navigate down to finance, expense, and then raise overhead. The two will take you to this, will bring you to this page. Okay, now here you enter the equation number. This is manually entered, this is manually captured because it's supposed to be the same number on the paper requisition form that would have been issued when requesting for the fund, right? So that's the very same number you enter here. Now the next thing you do is select the staff number, the staff that is requesting for the money. Now, if for any reason you don't have this page here, it's not populated with staff, all you simply need to do, like I did in the petty cache, is come to settings, come to staff members, possibly right click and open a new page, and then add staff here by clicking on add to staff list. These are all the church members. Now from here you should be able to navigate and pick members that are in your branch and that are also members of staff. We did this so that you have lesser a case of typing several and several, right? So the members of the church must certainly be members of your staff of your ministry must, rather, let me repeat myself. Your staff members must certainly be members of your ministry. So I believe it's supposed to be so, right? But if you have an alternative, I mean, a different mind view to this, you can let us know. We'll build a complete staff list for you. But we expect that members of your ministry and members of your staff must come from your ministry. Okay, so if there are no staff members, you come here, select the staff, whatever you want, right? Then click on add to staff list. But in this case, I'm not going to do it because I don't need to add again. So I go back to the page. So I already have my page populated with the staff members. Okay, so I choose Brother Michaels as the staff that is requesting for the fund. Then I choose his department as attendance. Okay, this time heart to heart, right? And then I choose that he's making this requisition on the 12th of March, and the amount he has refunded, maybe he was given 100,000 and he has refunded 8,000. Okay, now this is just for entry purposes. In the course of when we submit, you see all of these details. So this is applicable when for reporting purpose, but for purpose of this training, I may not really consider all of that, but it's meant for the reporting purpose. Now, if your own church do not capture all of this, we are free to customize this page to capture what is applicable in your own church, in your own ministry. But this is for another church, and we're using this to demonstrate that it is possible to do all of this. Now, actual amount that was spent is 500, okay, 50 naira, I'm sorry, 50,000 or 500,000, right? Now, officer assigned, let's put Michaels. Now, which pastor signed this request? Now, by this church, they have, according to them, they have 3 pastors, out of which 1 was signed. right? So if the GO is not around, the deputy GO is not around, then the available pastor should be the next person to sign it. So in this case, we choose Pastor Peace, right? Okay. Now, date, it was signed by the pastor. Our request was made on the 12th. So let's say on the 13th, right? Which is, of course, on a Monday. Checked by admin, say, admin checked it. And who is admin here? You can just see here, branch admin, receiver signature, of course, should be St. Michael. It can be a separate person. Now, date receiver assigned, say on Wednesday, right? Now, this is the initial that was I mean the what the key things that are in the form, in the requisition form, right? Now, when we submit this form, it will take us to a page where we have to list all the items that were bought or paid for using this 500,000. Okay, so when we click on, okay, remember, the person refunded 8,000, which means, which means the person was given 508,000, right? So, but actual amount that was spent is 500,000. So we'll click here. So we're now on this page. Now, the first item that we're going to select, say maybe billboards, right? So this payment is to cover all billboards for payment for, can say, top live convention billboards. Okay, and how many billboards? 10. And how much per billboards? 50,000. Automatically, we have covered the 500,000, right? 50,000. But let's not use this because we are doing example. Let's capture other items that will, also meet up the 100,000, right? So let's not just spend all in. So let's say here 5. So now 250,000 has been captured. Now we'll submit that. Now it brings us here where we've spent 250,000. So we have 250,000 more to go. So the next we'll do here is diesel, right? Payment for diesel. Diesel, see 10 liters of diesel at 800 per diesel, 8,000, right? Okay, so we have 258. Now the next is gen servicing, payment for generator servicing. So and servicing and purchase of new parts. Okay, so this alone involved about 10 different items that were purchased, and okay, now this might be a bit dicey, except if the church may want to break it down, but for purpose of the mention, I'll just put all cumulatively here, because if it charges, okay, let's do something here. Let's say now John servicing is taking 50,000 because it's a serious overhauling here, right? Then the same gen put purchase of parts, right? Then this is where it becomes dicey too, because you will need to specify all the parts. So let's let go this and go for fueling, because fueling we know is unit price, and then you add up the multiply quantity. Now already we have spent 208,000 here, right? So we have fuel. What amount of fuel are we going to buy that will equal this? No, so that wouldn't be necessary, but we can just put 100 liters. Okay, 100 liters. Because you're buying because the program will last for several days. So you wouldn't need to buy 30 liters today and go back again. So 30 for 3 days or for 4 days at um, 200. Okay, now 228. Okay, so we have about one 80 something thousand to go. Okay, now we need to pay for say the NEPA. Yeah, let's go for this. NEPA bill came to us and demanded that we need to pay NEPA bill for the previous month that we used and the estimation, the last month that was used, and by estimation it cost how much is left here? We have 182, no 172 to go. Okay, so NEPA is saying we have they've given us a total consumption of 200,000 NEPA bill. NEPA bill here means power consumption, right? Power consumption, electric power consumption, and it's one lump, right? It's one lump, right? Because it shows there are a lot of items consuming power, right? And right now we're in the month of March. Usually the payment is by estimation, so you cannot tell, therefore you cannot pay ahead until you come to an agreement with the NEPA authorities, right? This is just by assumption, right? So it's not really still, but we're trying to get something here. So now, and they'll tell you that your consumption is 200, and if you add that, no, sorry, 200. Yes. Now, if you add that to this, it's going to give you 528. So we've cut it out. So bring it down to 170. So NEPA is asking you to pay 170. Okay. So 170 plus, no, 172. Sorry, that 172. Sorry, 172. There. So 172. If you add 172 to this, it's going to be 500. Okay. So this is what NEPA is asking you to pay, and when you click on submit, it goes down. See that? So now we are done with our payment. We've done capturing all that we spent 500,000 naira on. Okay. So please forgive me, I have to talk because this is just for demonstration purpose. Now when you are doing your actual entries, you don't need to talk, you just enter what the reality that was captured in your invoice. Okay, so now I'm done with my entries. I've seen my total. There are two things I can either do for right now. Is that I go back by clicking, if I want to raise a new overhead equation, I click here, or I come back here to check other stuff, or if I want to view my requisition form for all of these 5 entries, I will simply click on view requisition, right? Now, there's something I didn't show us. There's something I didn't show us in the course of this. Now, I'm going to do it. Oh, no. I should have done that when capturing okay, I'll show it to us. Let's say before I wrap up here, let's say I want to, okay, let's wrap up this first. I will go back to that. Now, to view our requisition form, all I simply need to do is click on this. Now it will show all our 5 items that we've captured, and you see our total remains this. Now these 5 items are tied to what we call the invoice ID, right? It starts with what is called the invoice ID. Now once you raise the requisition form, an invoice ID is automatically raised, right? Let me show you what I mean. Once you're on this page, and you fill all your entries and you click raise a requisition form, an invoice ID will automatically be raised, right? Now, as you progress to fill the entries, every item you enter in the list goes along with this invoice ID. So once you are done and you end your entries, all your entries have this ID as in each of the rules. So when you now end it, it will now tie all your entries to as one lump of entries. So when you want to view, it will open your requisition form and show you all the entries that are tied to this invoice ID, right? So if maybe once you have ended your transaction and you start a new transaction, a new invoice ID will be raised. A new invoice ID will be raised. So this is just how your items are tied. Now the other thing, there are something I forgot I wanted to show you is this. If, for example, you come here and your pastor's signature drop-down box is empty, no names here, the way to fill the names here is the same way you did for your voucher when you were raising petty cash voucher. How do you do that? Now, this time around, instead of coming to staff members, you come to fund approval pastors, right? Fund approval pastors. Assuming I want to add a new pastor to this, a new approval to this list, all I need to do is come here, select whoever I want to be a part of that list, and I click add. But now, from what we're told, they have only 3. Only 3, so that's why we have 3 here, right? But we can also delete. I'm not sure we've added the yes. We can also delete, but we'll not enable the delete button yet. So if for any reason you want to remove 1 or 2 or the entire pastors and add a new one, you just need to delete all of them and add new ones from here. Just select the person's name by clicking this checkbox, or just and just once you click on this button, these 3 names will be added automatically. Okay, so thank you for being a part of this tutorial. Watch out for the next one. Remain blessed and God bless you.